There are two directors who have helped define the sci-fi genre more than anyone else in the 21st century, but they've also found success in other genres. Sci-fi has changed a lot in the last couple of decades, as technological advances have created limitless possibilities for filmmakers. CGI means that nothing is off-limits anymore. Despite these significant technological shifts, the best sci-fi movies remain the ones that are committed to intelligent storytelling, interesting concepts, and three-dimensional characters. While there have been plenty of big-budget blockbusters offering pyrotechnics without much substance, the best sci-fi directors respect the fundamentals. Between them, Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve have made 6 of the 21st century's best sci-fi movies. Nolan and Villeneuve have shaped 21st century sci-fi more than any other directors. Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve have been the undisputed kings of 21st century sci-fi so far, creating 6 classics between them. Nolan has contributed Inception and Interstellar, while Villeneuve started with Arrival, and has since created Blade Runner 2049 and his 2 Dune movies. Nolan also has some elements of sci-fi in The Prestige and his Dark Knight trilogy, but these shouldn't really count as pure sci-fi films. Tenet is his latest sci-fi offering, but it's fair to say that responses to the 2020 time travel thriller weren't unanimously positive. There are signs it can undergo a critical renaissance, but it's still a divisive movie. Villeneuve has batted a perfect average since shifting his focus toward sci-fi movies. Arrival seems an apt title to herald his transition to the genre, and it also proved to be the perfect introduction to his style, which has only evolved with his subsequent sci-fi movies. Nolan and Villeneuve share a lot of directorial traits in common. Both directors deliver substance behind the spectacle. Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Arthur fighting a henchman during Inception's rotating hallway scene. Many of Christopher Nolan's best movies are known for their immense scale and unique concepts. They're the kind of movies that audiences will always flock to see on the biggest screen available, as evidenced by the runaway success of Oppenheimer. Not many other directors could attract so many people to a 3-hour historical biopic about particle physics. Denis Villeneuve's movies share Nolan's eye for spectacle. Whether it's the towering monolithic spaceships in Arrival or the stark chiaroscuro compositions of Giedi Prime in Dune, Part 2, Villeneuve knows how to create striking images, which are often totally unlike anything that audiences have seen before. The key to Nolan and Villeneuve's success in the sci-fi genre is that their jaw-dropping visuals serve a deeper thematic purpose. Take the rotating hallway fight in Inception, for example. It's the perfect illustration of the layers of dreaming that are vital to the movie's concept, and it also shows the volatility and danger of the situation in a specific way. Nolan and Villeneuve have both enjoyed huge success away from sci-fi too. Each director has an exciting project lined up in a different genre. Although Nolan and Villeneuve have dominated the sci-fi genre, they haven't been bound by its confines. The fact that they have succeeded in so many other genres makes their sci-fi accomplishments even more impressive. This illustrates the fact that genre is merely a secondary consideration to them. Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy is one of the most impressive superhero series ever made, and he also has a couple of great thrillers with The Prestige and Memento. Of course, his Oscar glory came from 2023's Oppenheimer, which continues the historical drama that he first explored with the World War II action thriller Dunkirk. In Villeneuve's case, he was already putting together an outstanding filmography long before he turned his attention to sci-fi. After making a name for himself with French-language films like Incendies, Villeneuve moved to Hollywood with 2 sensational thrillers. Enemy and Prisoners both came out in 2013, and 2015's Sicario cemented his reputation. Nolan and Villeneuve both have huge projects lined up away from sci-fi. Nolan's adaptation of The Odyssey is already one of the most exciting movies of 2026, with an all-star cast hoping to do Homer's epic poem justice. Villeneuve has recently signed up for the next James Bond movie, which will bring the franchise into a new era after Daniel Craig's exit. Christopher Nolan vs. Denis Villeneuve, who is the 21st century's true sci-fi master. Each director has their strengths. Joy, Ana de Armas, hologram looking down at K, Ryan Gosling, Blade Runner 2049. It's difficult to compare Nolan and Villeneuve's contributions to the sci-fi genre, since they are both extremely impressive, and they each have their own particular virtues. What's clear is that these are the 2 directors leading the genre, but the question of who is the current master of sci-fi will come down to personal taste. Villeneuve edges Nolan in terms of volume, with 4 hits and no misses so far, plus the exciting Dune, Messiah adaptation still on the horizon. The Dune movies and Villeneuve's Blade Runner sequel both demonstrate the director's ability to take on impossible challenges, which is another huge positive. Nolan has often been more interested in developing his own ideas. Rather than building on sci-fi classics like Dune and Blade Runner, Nolan builds his own fascinating worlds. There's always a chance he'll return to the genre after the Odyssey, and his heavyweight bout with Villeneuve could go for another round. Ultimately, it's best to appreciate what Nolan and Villeneuve are both bringing to the table, rather than getting bogged down in comparisons. Both directors offer audiences a blend of explosive action and thought-provoking stories, even if their styles are distinct enough to give them each a clear artistic personality.